Hello everyone. We're gonna cook, I am gonna cook a pizza on the Weber kettle today, Weber Mastertouch. I haven't done a pizza on my Mastertouch for quite a long time. In fact, I've just looked at all my ingredients, this morning and noticed that they were all out of date by between 12 and 18 months. So I've just been to the supermarket to buy some flour and sugar and oregano or oregano, as some people call it. So what we're going to do now is just follow a little recipe from the Weber Essentials recipe booklet. A good while ago, probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe, I did a Weber skills course. So I went to a kitchen and was taught how to cook certain things on a barbecue, and pizza was one of them. So I'm just going to follow their recipe for the base and then obviously apply my own toppings later. So what I'm going to do now is bring it all together, create the dough, and then leave it in the fridge to prove, or whatever you call it, for a few hours, and then cook some pizzas on the barbecue for tea tonight. I do normally cook pizza on my GBS Mastertouch, whatever it's called, pizza stone. But yesterday I was gifted the old obsolete Weber pizza attachment for the top of the kettle. The reason being is my uncle's just bought a Kamado Joe, Big Joe 3. They're absolutely beautiful. I'm proper jealous. So he's gifted me his pizza top thing because he won't need it because he's got a pizza stone for his Kamado Joe now. So first off, we've got 300 grams of strong white bread flour, which is what we've got here. Perfect. Now, according to the recipe, this makes enough for 6 dough balls, i.e. 6 pizza bases. We're probably only going to use 2 or 3 tonight, which then means I'll get 2 or 3 more in the week. So we'll put that into our mixing bowl. Then we've got 300 grams, so equal amount of type 00 flour. It does say here you can use plain white flour if you can't get type 00, but I could get type 00, so we'll give it a go. Into the mixing bowl. Then it says 1 sachet of yeast. I'm sure you can measure it out, but this recipe says 1 sachet, so we'll go for 1 sachet of yeast. Straight into the bowl. So what it says next, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So we'll go 1, 2 and 3. Didn't need me to count that, did you? 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. Best use a clean spoon, eh? 2 tablespoons. Was it teaspoons? 2 teaspoons it is. We'll leave it to 1 tablespoon then, eh? And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Just go half of that tablespoon, it'll be fine. $375ml of warm water. Should have read this before. So we've got 375ml of warm water. Straight in there. So now that we've put everything in the bowl, it just says simply wooden spoon, mix it all together. So that's what we're going to do. So as you can now see, if it focuses, as you can now see, it's all combined and together. So what we need to do next is get our hands dirty. Luckily the wife's at the zoo today, so I can make as much mess as I need to, given a little bit of time to clean it up and make it look like less of a bomb site. what we need to do, get a bit of flour on our work surface. Get this dough out. A little bit of flour on your hands to stop it all sticking. And then all you need to do is knead it for about, it says about 7 minutes, so I normally go 5 to 10 minutes. I can't tell you when it's done because I can't remember. It's been that long since I did this. But this kind of gives you an idea that a beginner can do this, because I am a beginner. Just because I've done it before doesn't mean to say I'm an expert. If it gets too sticky, you just add a little bit of extra flour. Just enables you to work with the dough. But if you continuously knead it, here's the noisy dog with his long claws again. Lie down. You continuously knead it for 7 minutes, it's pretty much going to come to the consistency that the recipe suggests it is. So we'll crack on with this. We keep saying we. I'll crack on with this. I'll see you in a minute. So we've given that a good kneading for 7-ish minutes. What we're going to do is put it back in this bowl, and then we're just going to cover it in cling film until it doubles in size. So the recipe says leave it in a warm room for an hour until it doubles in size. Ideally leave it in the fridge overnight, but it will then improve the texture. A dog in his claws. Leave it in the fridge overnight will improve its texture and its flavour apparently. I think we've done it once in the past, I can't remember whether it was much better or not, but it's just going in our conservatory just there. It's quite sunny outside today, it's about 16 degrees, so it's going to be fairly warm in there now. So we'll let that finish and we'll knock up some tomato sauce for it as well. To make the base for the pizza, I simply just get a small bowl and it's just made up of passata, olive oil, I was going to say oregano then, oregano, caster sugar, salt and pepper. Sometimes I put a bit of tomato paste in there as well, puree, but I haven't got any today. So simply with the the passata, just, you know, how much sauce do you want? Teaspoon of oregano. A little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt, teaspoon of caster sugar, and then just a dash of olive oil. And all we're going to do is mix all that together. That's it, simple. So obviously when you make your base, you flatten it out, which we'll do later. Put a coating of that on, put your topping on top, you're done. So we'll wait for that to prove now and then we'll flatten it out and make some pizza. So what we have got is quite a big old piece of dough now. That's more than doubled in size. Let's talk about 2 to 3 hours tops. So now we just need to get this surface floured, get the dough out and cut it into 6 pieces to go on the barbecue. She's a springy one. Oh, smells like homebrew. So what we're going to do is just cut this into 6 pieces now. That will give you 6 pizza bases. I don't know how good this lasts overnight or for a few days, but that's part of the process. You try these things, don't you, to see how it works. If it doesn't work, make some more. So what I'm going to attempt to do now is just roll a pin it out once, turn it around, roll a pin it again, turn it around. Oh, it's a bit sticky. When you roll it once, just turn it around 45 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever it is, just once. Because you don't want to just roll all the air out. And the idea is, just give it a bit of a stretch. It is quite delicate, but you can play with it a bit as well. It makes your voice go like that as you're doing it. So then the idea is you get a few, don't wear a black t-shirt while doing it either. You get a few little pieces on the end which are a little bit thick. If you just let the weight of it in your fingers pull them out, then if you just hold it, you'll see it stretch away from your fingers. So as you get the thicker pieces around the end, just let that weight drag it down a bit. One little tip, and this doesn't make me a chef or an expert, but bona fide tip: don't let any water get on the work surface. You want this to be bone dry. Stops the dough from sticking to the kitchen surface. So what we are going to do now, probably should have put the coals on a bit earlier as well. It looks like the coals are going to be a good 10-15 minutes yet. So here's our pizza sauce mix that we made earlier. Just spoon a load of that on. Probably should have had a tablespoon. Little tip for you, use a tablespoon. And then we'll just spread that around the base, leaving a gap at the edge for the crust to rise at the edges. Only about an inch, half an inch, something like that. I could be wrong, but that's what I do. One catastrophic error I've made is I haven't got any fresh basil. I always have fresh basil when I make pizza. So what we are going to have is dried basil. So we've got some mozzarella dry in there. I've got some dry basil. I've got some little pieces of pepperoni. I've got some onions, and then I'm going to chop up some of these forestier mushrooms. So we'll get some of that sorted and bring you back. First pizza, pretty average, but the bottom's nice and crispy anyway, so it'll get eaten. Come on, baby.
Hey!
Ole! So we managed to get 3 pizzas, I'm going to sneeze. So we managed to get 3 pizzas cooked in the end, and bit of a learning curve. I didn't put the coals on early enough to get the pizza oven warm enough to then make the pizza and throw it straight on. I had to wait for a while. Therefore the sauce started seeping into the base and then stuck to the bloody worktop. The third one we've just put on now, which I need to go and check in a second, went on really easy, but these pieces from the second pizza worked out really well. Nice crisp base, cooked on the top, tastes really good. So it's all about practice. So what I'm going to do is practice further into this week in a couple of nights time, and then potentially make some more next weekend. So if I manage to make any belters, I might throw them into this video, but for now, see you later.